Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ashton here, and I know it's been a while, but I thought I'd try and, well, try and give y'all something that y'all seem to like a whole lot. Um, a whole lot of you guys liked the 10x base build that I showed you using Fortify. I think I forgot to point that out in the last video. Um, but I just wanted to talk about a few things and go over some stuff. Now, this, as you'll see, is the design from the original video, and I commented in my put a comment in my most recent video that I was working on something big, and when I say big, I mean, well, so this, for example, this is a very large base, something you would probably see on a 10x. Um, and for a while, I had some aspirations to make the biggest base I could possibly make, and this base right here is the combination of about 100+ hours of work, and we'll just go over the floor plan and compare it to the other one. This takes, if you use the copy paste plugin, I have my rest server, it takes about 30 minutes for the plugin itself to put in the base, and the thing's not even done yet. I had originally planned to, I've been working on this base for quite a while, and I had originally planned to finish the base when I made that comment. But this thing is a behemoth, to say the least. Um, and while I was at it, I thought I would show you, or I thought I would make another base that was a little easier to swallow, I guess you could say. Because this one still hurts my brain, the fact that I spent so long on it. But we'll just go around and show basically what it is. Now this is actually was my clan base for a while that me and my team would run with. And all along the outside, you have auto turrets and pictures. We had a clan logo pasted on the side of the base, and it would all be surrounded by walls, so you wouldn't exactly, so it wouldn't just like spawn kill people because it was on a coast. But you'll notice that I took the memo of not putting much on the first floor to an extreme. With this base, you'll notice that there's about 60 layers of honeycomb. Not exactly, but it's what it feels like, and the base is just a maze. Like, this is the inner corridor, this is the inner TC corridor loop. We have the drop-down loot rooms that I so much enjoy to build until they're not fun to build anymore. And, sorry if my voice sounds pretty bad, I have a bad cold currently, but, in the base, these paintings, we had a picture that, signified each member of the base that had a room. So, some that were in the corners were signifying where the loot was, what loot was there. But it was a very colorful base. We had a little bit of electricity. On my Rust server, again, you don't need electricity to power turrets, so we didn't really need to do that. But you'll notice I didn't put in all the doors, but basically to get up to the second floor, you go in through this, and then there's just a ladder hatch, and then even more doors going along, and each one of these corridors would have a turret in it. And you can't even actually access the main base from the second floor. You have to go up to the... Actually, is it? Or did I just build it wrong? I think I may have just built it wrong. No, yeah. Pretty sure I did it like this on purpose. It's been a while since I've been in this base. My original plan was indeed to have you go up and have to get up to, I do believe it was, yeah, this floor. You'd have to go up to the third floor to get down. This base was, and still is, or still does haunt my nightmares because of how long it took. Um, and you'll notice it's still not even fully done. Um, but it's about 6 stories tall. My original plan was to make it be about 12. Um, the base would stop around the 8th floor and then curve up into a tower where you could take heli at. But it got so problematic that it was giving my server. I had to stop building the base because it was causing the server to struggle, which is funny. Which is why it coined the name Breaking Point because it pushed me and my server to the breaking point. But this base was fun to build. I really like building obscene things. Not in like not. I like building things that have no point. Like there's no way you would ever need this. This is maybe a Zerg base for a 50x, maybe a 50x Zerg base, but even then you need about 100 plus players to build it in a day because all the prototyping and stuff took me about 8 hours to lay down the foundation and do all the prototyping with no clip. To get all the walls and all the doors down for the first floor, it took about 8 hours, and that's including trying to figure out if there was any way to make it almost impossible to raid. Um, but I just wanted to show you guys this base. This is and probably should be renamed to the Behemoth, but I plan on making a different base design for that name. It probably won't be as large as this. I don't know if I can handle building one that big because again, this base took. I started working on this base for reference. I started working on this base and laid down the first foundation um, in 2020, in about May of 2020, just around the end of summer or beginning of summer. Um, and this is the second version of it. It has a little bit chunkier floor stacking. So all of these will be half walls. You put half walls all the way up in a chimney style. And the original one did not because I thought it may not be necessary, but I decided that maybe I should. I've also thought about probably half wall stacking the entirety of the honeycomb, but to do that, I would have to spend an egregious amount of time in Fortify. But I did. A couple of people asked. I had one guy say on the other video that I had the Rust Academy base, and if you're curious about the upkeep for this work in progress hollow version, there's the upkeep cost. Let's see. Upkeep is 131,000 and 131,000 high qual and 6,000 metal frags per day. And the original base that I had planned to build, or this is about 60% done, and it's still egregious. Now I do have a furnace base that I would like to show off. Um, I really like building circular centered bases. I don't really know why. I just think they're more fun to experiment with. So we'll go on to Fury, which is my furnace base, and it is very much not finished. But the basic get around is you want to have furnaces in the middle here, and then an extremely tough to get to loot room. Now you notice that there's a couple of errors here, and you can just blow in through this wall, but you'd want this base to be full honeycomb, or full hike wall, and you would have extra honeycomb probably extending to about here. And you'll notice that I didn't do it on all the doors because placing shotgun traps in Fortify is annoying, but they'll have shotgun traps on all of these doors, so when if they blow into the doors, then they have to destroy the shotgun traps. I did actually have to break one of these furnaces because if you don't place it just right, you can't place any of the walls above. So you'll notice that you have this design, and the reason I went with the audit here is I built furnace bases in the past, and most of the time a furnace base is weak from the top because the uh, grates, the furnace grates, don't really stop anything. And I decided that I would correct that by making it so if you did go through the top, you had to deal with turrets. So if you break through all the gates, and you drop down, then yeah, there's turrets there, and there would be turrets out here on this side as well. That's why it's curved like this. So let's say you blow in through here, and there'd be auto turret facing this way and an auto turret facing this way. On for on a depending on the server like multiplier of the server you're playing on, you'd want is dependent on what guns you would have. So if you're playing in like a 5x, you'd want maybe customs because they're mean, or hell even Iokas because it's in close quarters. And if you've never put an Ioka and an auto turret, it's a little bit stupid, to say the least. But most of the time on my server, I like to have M2s in the auto turrets with Explo because, or Instant and Explo, because not only does it deal tons of damage, it holds 100 rounds without having to reload. And this is basically where it comes down to my philosophy. If you're worried about it being weak, spam turrets. Um, Now, on my server, turrets aren't really, well, they're deadly, but they're more of just an annoyance because I've been fiddling around with a whole bunch of plugins and made it so pretty much everything has a 15 times multiplier. The recycling has a multiplier. The furnaces themselves have a multiplier. So you put in one sulfur, you get 15 sulfur out. Um, and I thought, well, I don't want to just put my furnaces out in the open, so I want to build a base that reflects this and defends. And you'll see, this is very early stages of prototyping, but my argument still stands that if you're gonna, you know, if you're worried about it being blown in from the top, make the top either super tall or put a lot of auto turrets in the top. So you notice I did the half wall thing where I put auto turrets up here, and then you just stack them by half walls. So there's a half wall layer of just two. If you want maximum security, I would suggest instead of just doing instead of doing the roofs here, you instead do half wall like this. So let's say that's the chimney. You'd want to do half wall and then just keep walling up with normal walls to cover it up. It would give you some added layer of protection, and then at the top you'd want to do the roof and then a shooting floor if you'd like. Yeah, I like my bases to have shooting floors, mainly because I guess it just kind of seems funny to take heli from a furnace base. And there is one more thing I wanted to say is it's kind of uh, I didn't really think about it too much when I was doing it, but the way it put these garage doors is if the ladder hatch is open, you can't get in through the garage door, so they have to use extra explosives to get in. And the only way down to the main floor without blowing out these doors, and these doors are here for quick access. If you just want to drop down, because there's a staircase that goes down, and this is where all your main furnace loot would be. So there's 3 shelves on each side. So there's a ton of storage, and this is up here is for extra like wood, and I wouldn't recommend putting too much stuff here because it's not exactly safe. Um, and the end goal, pretty much what you want to have, is you're going to want to have this walled off with doors as well. So just like a interlocking airlock kind of. So you'd come in and you'd want to wall off the loot rooms here at the top. I can't place a wall there, but I think you get what I mean. Like you'd want to have, so you just come in through this door, and you'd have to blow open these garage doors or armor doors to get to the loot. And if you wanted, you could do the half wall chest stack as well, because I think you can get technically more storage with that one. But for just quick and easy, I just recommend using solid shelves. Um, and another quick note is uh, this is not exact. Now this should be said, but I do not recommend building this base um, on any server because the amount of time it would take to build and the amount of lag it causes, you could a um, you would either never get it finished, or b you could get in trouble with the owners of the said server, because this thing is not exactly server friendly. I didn't have that in mind when I built it, because I was just kind of like, hey, let's build an obscene amount of walls that you really shouldn't blow through. Um, and on a test run, I left the base. I used to get about maybe 20 players a week on my one of my older servers before a whole bunch of drama with an admin happened, and I let this server on there for a week, and it was back when my old server was like 150x. Um, Even with no turrets on it, nobody raided it. It's a very terrifying looking base. I mean, if you if you're just spawning in, if you're just a fresh spawn, you're gonna see just this much, and you'd be like, okay, this is a giant clan. They have tons of resources, and um, if you do build it, um, if anybody out there does see any glaring issues that you can think of, that's not because, yeah, you can jump through the roof because it's not finished, but like any structural ideas or any designs you guys want me to try and build, just give me a shout. I'm always interested in trying out new base designs, and really just messing around in Rust is, I got to get back into it. Hopefully I'll be able to revive my channel. I seem to be pretty good at not uploading, but that's getting kind of boring. So, yeah, that's all I want to say, and I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Oh, but before I let you go, I will have the Rust server IP in the description of this video. So, yeah, that's going to do it. Y'all have a good one. Peace.